he has a habit. If he ever meets a Hafiz, if he just meets someone and he finds out that the guy's Hafiz, he pulls out 20 pounds, gives it to him. The guy says, well, Allah, he became Hafiz 10 years ago. He said, it doesn't matter, I wasn't around at that time, I didn't know you. But he goes, I'm respecting the hifz, the Quran in his heart, in the hope that Allah Ta'ala will give my children also. And now I've remembered another thing from there which I wasn't going to mention, but I'll mention it very quickly. One of my ustads, very great alim in England, he said to us once, he said, I'm the first alim in my family. He said, before that, in my generation, there was no one. But he said, why did I become an alim? He said, Kamal mera nahi hai, it's not my achievement. He says, my father. And my father was not an alim. He used to work on the steamers, on the ships in those days. So a person who works on the ships, he's got a free kind of a life, you know. He's just moving around from country to country. When they dock in countries, then he can go there and, you know, commit sins and things that nobody will know. Nobody knows him there. But my father, he was working on those ships. So a very, you know, kind of different kind of a lifestyle to everyone else. But my father had love in his heart for deen and for ulama kiram. He's not practicing much, but he's a praise namaz, but not much more than that. But he said when he used to dock in countries, other people used to go and do their gunas, because my father used to go shopping in these countries, European countries and everywhere. And in particular, he used to go looking for fruit, tinned fruit, because at that time it wasn't available in India, and because it doesn't go off. So he'd go and he'd invest his money in buying those loads of tinned fruit, and then he'd bring them back. When he'd come back after 6 months or so, we'd be so happy Dad's come home. Why? Because the dad would then open the tin and give us those tinned, what do you call it, peaches and pineapple rings and everything. We would get so happy. Back in those days, it was a novelty. So he'd give all of us. And then we'd say, Abba, you bought so many, open another one. He said, no, the other one's not for you, not yet. And he would pile them all up in the pantry, on the shelves. And we would look at them, we'd sit there looking at them, Ya Allah, please. So he would say, he had a condition, my father had a condition, Jahil admi, non-alim, but look at the love he has. He said to myself and my brother that if you can find an alim, bring an alim home and I will open a tin. The alim will eat from it first, then you guys will get. So we would run to the masjid, we'd grab Imam Sahib, bring him to the masjid, chalo, Sahib, you have to come. There was no ikhlas in bringing him. We were doing it for the fruits, but so we bring him. Then my father would say, okay, next time bring another alim. You can't bring the same alim. So we would, he said, myself and my brother, we'd play outside, we'd play near the masjid. And we'd go keep looking in the masjid every day, looking for an alim. And if a Mauli Sahib came for chanda or something, or a traveller, we'd go over to him, are you a Mauli Sahib? No, I don't want to know you then. Are you a Mauli Sahib? Yeah, chalo, you've got to come to my house. And we would hang on his hands after namaz, we would pull him to our house. And the Mauli Sahib would say, no, who are you? You know, you've not even informed your dad. No, my dad knows you're coming. And sure enough, my dad would be there waiting. And we would go into the house with the alim, and my dad would be so happy, he'd be ecstatic. MashaAllah, mere ghar mein barakat aa gayi. Barakat has come into my house. Noor has come into our house. In Bolton, many years ago, a Mauli Sahib came from India for chanda, and he did a bayan, I still remember. And at that time I was studying in madrasa, so he mentioned this riwayat. And he said that it's a zaif riwayat and everything, but he mentioned the kitab, and I remember looking in the kitab and I find in the riwayat, and I've still got the kitab at home. The riwayat was that if an alim passes by a graveyard, just an alim passing by a graveyard, Allah Ta'ala uplifts the punishment of the people of that graveyard for 40 days. He mentioned this riwayat, and he said that if an alim just passing by a graveyard, this is the barakat and the rahmat that it brings. Imagine if he came into your house. So he made an appeal to the people then. He said, all these alims are coming in England, you're very, very lucky. Ulama kiram are coming from all over the world. He said, honor them. If you can't take them to your house, then give them some hadiyah. If you can't do that, at least sit in their gatherings respectfully, listen to them. Then Allah Ta'ala will bless you and bless your house also. So my Mauli Sahib says that then we'd take the Mauli Sahib and the Mauli Sahib, then my dad would be very happy, then he'd open a tin and then he'd feed Mauli Sahib. And then when the Mauli Sahib would go, then he'd give the remains to us and we'd be dead happy. He goes, because of that amal of my father showing extreme love and reverence for the ulama kiram, he said, I reckon that Allah Ta'ala blessed me with knowledge. So brothers and sisters, this is this was generally accepted in our communities. It was practiced upon. Adab was a thing in our communities, in our masjids. Now, unfortunately, adab is fast leaving us. So we must make an effort to try to bring adab back, in our talks. If an alim or anyone is talking, if talim is taking place, we mustn't take our phone out. That's very, very disrespectful. And when we're reading the Quran, we shouldn't be leaning, putting out our legs, etc., etc. So anyway, I've not even started the bayan yet. Chalo, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.